Okay, so here we go. We were all laughing because Shomik was trying out his Marathi, and his Marathi is much like Gargi's Bengali. So this is a zoo, where we all have fun at our own expense. But Akash Deep and Ben Duckett also had some fun, and each one of us who remembers. By the way, I was critical of that because I still think no bowler should go to a batter like that and have his arms around him and start talking, and I maintain that. Having said that, we still don't know. I mean, we don't know what was said at the backdrop. We don't know what Akashdeep was talking about. We don't know what Ben Duckett was talking about. If there was a trailer to that, did Ben Duckett provoke Akashdeep? Did something get said? So that's exactly what we will do today. And after doing this, and by the way, we will tell you exactly what Akashdeep said because it's from the horse's mouth. So it is from the horse's mouth, and we will discuss all of that. Joining me, Shomik, who's leaving for Mumbai as our head of Mumbai bureau on Monday. So the last show for the time being from the studio here, Devashish, and of course Gargi, who's actually on leave from Monday onwards. So a lot of movement and travel around and all of that happening within our team as well. So welcome. So what did Akash Deep say? By the way, first reactions, let me go to all three of my colleagues. All of us have seen that. Devashish from inside the ground as photographer. Gargi was sitting with me and we went straight to our lunch show, and Shomik was in Calcutta. Why don't you start? When Akash Deep went and had had Ben Duckett like this and started talking, what was your first reaction?
I was a bit startled. I mean, at the heat of the moment, I don't know what the conversation was like, but I would commend Ben Duckett for showing restraint. I think if it were someone like Ricky Ponting, he would have elbowed Akash Deep.
Nice, interesting. The Gargi, your thoughts now that you go back and see it?
I think it's interesting what really went down because you told me what the conversation was between the two off the camera, and that was quite interesting. Now that you look back on it, it seems quite justified what Akash Deep said. But I know that you don't want any direct confrontation between the players, and we will always stand for that. Even when that happened, right, like as you said, we went straight for the lunch show and we said that was completely unnecessary from Akash Deep. As a batter, you don't want someone coming up to you that close. As a bowler, you don't want to be doing that. So if we're staying within the spirit of the game and all of that, then maybe it was unnecessary. But now hearing the conversation between the two, it's quite funny what happened.
Devashish, your first thoughts before I reveal the conversation.
Yeah, I would say it was nice from Ben Duckett not to keep his calm. I mean, obviously he could have gone haywire. I mean, obviously had Ben Duckett reacted, but whatever I have witnessed of Ben Duckett being in close quarters, observing the England team practice, he comes across as a very lively character, and he is very loved among the England cricketers. The Ben Duckett we know about his aggressive stroke play in the middle. He is completely a different person off the field. Means obviously he obviously mixes with the team. In one of the moment, if I could remember, it was Ben Stokes who was putting his arm around Ben Duckett's hand and discussing some minor points. So yes, I think also the test matches, apart from a few incidents, it has been played in a right spirit. I would say right from the Headingley to the last test match at Lords. I think, barring a few instances where the teams have crossed the limits or have gone into some sort of that should not be the case, but I think overall that the series was played in a very, very good spirit. And moments like when Shubman Gill scored 100, you saw a pat coming from the England cricketers or beat Yashasvi Jaiswal. So, but on that instance, I would say it is the spirit that Ben Duckett showed. Means obviously Akash Deep would think it twice before doing such a thing.
Okay, so first things first, we put out our long interview with Akash Deep, about 20 minutes or so, and every question asked about Akash Deep 66 and what was he thinking when he was playing those pull shots, what was his role as night watchman, his bowling in Edgbaston, what did he think of Mohammad Siraj, the bowling leader, bowling with Mohammad Siraj, what was the think tank plan of the 57 minutes at the Oval on the final day, how did the team celebrate, and of course what did he say to Ben Duckett. So every question asked of Akash Deep, tomorrow we will play out that interview, long interview with Akash Deep, and we will put everything out. Now here's the discussion. I asked Akash Deep, so what happened and what did you say to Ben Duckett? Now Akash Deep, I think, was expecting that question, and he tells me Ben Duckett said to me that, and there was a kind of prelude to that. He said, I have got Ben Duckett out a number of times, and I said, yes, you have. And he said, look, I've always fancied bowling to Ben Duckett. I said, correct. And he said, on that day, Ben Duckett told me, you can't get me out today, it's my day, when he was hitting me for all those boundaries. And Akash Deep said, look, when a batter is actually playing those unconventional shots, the lap, the paddle, stepping out and all of that, it does throw a bowler off gear. He said, Ben Duckett was trying all of that to me, and it was actually throwing me off gear. So when he got him out, I said, tell me, what did you say? He said, I went and said to him, not every day will you win. Today you are not winning. Ultimately, I am the winner. That's what he was telling him, that I am the winner, you are the loser. You missed, I have hit. I said, what? He said, yes, that's what I told him, that I am the winner, you are not the winner. Today you lose, I win. So it was hilarious. He actually went and told Duckett that not every day will you win. Today I am the winner. And thereafter he said, you miss, I hit. You missed it, I've got the wicket. I said, okay. And then watch it tomorrow. It's a funny one. It's a genuinely funny one. And the way he says it, and he starts laughing. The moment I asked him that question, he starts smiling. So Akash Deep, you would love to hear that interview. And the best part of the interview for me is when he was talking about Mohammad Siraj. You must hear it. I am not going to reveal it. You must hear what Akash Deep said as to what Siraj was telling them. And you will understand that Siraj was actually a man possessed on that particular day. So Akash Deep interview coming your way. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. we'll play out the promo, and 12 noon, the full 20-minute interview will come. By the way, it's in Hindi. So it will also be on Rev Sports Hindi. And Devashish will be thrilled because he had told me to ask one question in Bangla. Akash Deep did speak in Bangla. He does struggle. But he did speak in Bangla for all his Bengali fans. So we will put it out on Rev Sports Bangla as well, besides putting it out on Rev Sports English. So that's Akash Deep. And other interviews will also come your way. So we should just tell you this, that plenty more exclusives will come your way. A lot of, can we deserve Jasprit Bumrah? Why media destroyed his career? Why we only celebrate when a player raised not enough credit when a player needed most? Second surgery, can we think? I don't think anybody has destroyed anyone's career, Shubhamoy, or can. Your thoughts on it? How can media or anyone destroy a legend like Jasprit Bumrah?
No, but I totally agree with what Sandeep Patil has said. Sandeep Patil, the former India captain, India batsman and former chief selector, he said, "See, there is nothing called workload management. If you are either fit or unfit, simple." He said, "I have seen Sunil Gavaskar batting for 5 days. Kapil Dev bowling, on those unresponsive pitches, 25, 26 overs a day." He said that. Now, the thing is that people say now there is a proliferation of cricket because of T20s and all that. But mind, in the 1980s, you had this international assignments in the winter. Then all those players regularly turned up for domestic cricket for their respective states. It is not that when they are not playing international cricket, they are sitting out. In the summer, they were going to England to play county cricket, and as you know, which is very, very hectic in county cricket. So it is not that the workload was light for them. So Kapil Dev, I think, bowled 12,000 balls in Test cricket alone. Just one test during his illustrious career, just one test he missed, and that is the Calcutta test, where he was dropped for playing a poor shot in Delhi. So that was for non-cricketing reasons, in the sense that it was nothing related to injury or fitness. Kapil Dev, during his career, went through 3 knee surgeries 3 times. He was carrying the Indian pace attack single-handedly. The others from the other end, we had Dibbly Dobblies then, Sometimes even Mahinda Ramannath was taking the new ball. And other than that, Madan Lal or Roger Beni. Later, Chetan Sharma came, who was a bit quicker, who was a bit faster. But that was the workload of Kapil Dev. He never complained. Now, either it is the BCCI or the team management should be clear about this, whether it is workload management for Bumrah or it is injury management. If it is injury management, why? I mean, even Sunil Gavaskar, Kapil Dev, or Sachin Tendulkar never went to a series with a precondition that I will play only 3 test matches. It doesn't, you cannot pick or choose. I mean, when Harry Brook and Joe Root, they were taking England to victory at the Oval, and then before the team panicked and before India bounced back, I mean, we are all missing Bumrah. He was fit. He was released from the squad. Even Gautam Gambhir, after Old Trafford Test, on record, publicly said all the fast bowlers are fit. So I will assume I will take the head coach's comment on at its face value, and I will assume that Bumrah was fit, and despite that, he didn't turn up. So from everything else, now at the end of the day, nobody is deriding or demeaning Bumrah. Nobody is denigrating. He is an all-time great in his own right, but he still has to go a long way to match someone like Kapil Dev.
The point that Shomik is making is his a very strong voice, and we have seen a lot of such critical comments in the media. But the point that the question here is no one, and why are you assuming that the media, or for that matter anyone, can't be critical? I by the way differ on this, and even within the 4 of us we will have different opinions, but that's how it is. The media cannot destroy anyone's career. So when Bumrah bowls well, Shomik will be one of the people who will put his hand up and praise Bumrah. Now, if you can praise Bumrah, you can criticize Bumrah. If he is fair, from his standpoint, he's making a point that before the series, you either go and play 5 or you don't go. And that is how the policy should be. Okay, 2 test series, can you play 2 tests? Yes, I can. Then you get picked. 3 test series, can you play all 3? Yes, you can. In the middle of a series, you have an injury, is a different matter. At the start. So that's a policy matter. And each one of us can have our different opinions. So I think we have to also accept that it is not just about praise for players. It is also about being critical for players, because that's what our job is. So Karun Nair, has he done justice to the opportunities that he has got? The answer is no. He hasn't. Is Shubman Gill the captain a finished product? The answer is no. Shubman Gill, the batter, has obviously demonstrated incredible achievement in England, but the captain, on occasions we have seen the game drift. Now, if we call that out and say Shubman Gill, the batter, still needs improvement, how can anyone come and say that, oh, you know what, you're being critical of Shubman Gill? Of course, that is our job. That is our job. So I think the media, at the same time, I'll go to Gargi and Devashish on this. There should be a line, and the line should be one of restraint and respect. You criticize, you be critical. Don't be sensationalist and say things which are nasty.
And don't abuse.
And don't abuse to chhedi dao. Abuse, none of us can. If someone comes and abuses me or any of my colleagues, I'll take that person to task, and you all know that. So none of us are in a position or should ever be in a position to abuse anyone. But let's take opinions on this. Devashish, where do you stand on Jasprit Bumrah?
No, I somewhat disagree with Somikda to compare Kapil Dev with Jasprit Bumrah. Kapil Dev played in an era where was there an IPL? Was there so much cricket? Means obviously with Bumrah playing day in and day out, he played in the IPL as well, where he picked 18 wickets or so. He was instrumental. Whatever set matches he played, he had a mark. Means obviously, but to be comparing cricketers from generations, I think of different eras, I think that is totally uncalled for. Means we should not. Can you ever compare a Sachin Tendulkar with a Sunil Gavaskar, or for that matter, Sachin Tendulkar, the time he played his cricket with a Virat Kohli? So that is totally unfair, I would say. But given the amount of cricket Bumrah plays in day in and day out in this modern era with IPL and one-day cricket and T20 cricket, and the history of his injuries, he has a history of injuries. So I think it is not fair as well. Means to compare him with Kapil Dev, obviously missing out one game and Bumrah picking and choosing. It is, let us leave it on Bumrah himself because his contributions to Indian cricket has been immense, and we should respect it. Means yes, and this should yes. In fact I have interviewed several former cricketers from Dilip Vinsarkar to Farooq Engineer who has gone on record to say that it is clearly not done. Means a player of the, should not pick and choose when it comes to represent the country. But for Bumrah's case, he is once in a generation bowler. Means so, and given the history of his injury, we should preserve him with cotton wool rather than time and again questioning his integrity.
Just one thing, Devashish. I mean, you absolutely everyone is entitled to his opinion, but during Kapil Dev's time or in the 1980s, there was less cricket. I am not buying that theory. They used to play 8 months of red ball cricket, long form cricket. I'm giving you the schedule. October to March, Ranji Trophy and international cricket. During that time, the test series used to happen in the winter. Then the Lip Trophy, Wills Trophy, Deodat Trophy, Irani Trophy. And all those players, including Sunil Gavaskar, Kapil Dev, the greatest of them, the biggest of them, they regularly turned up for their respective test side. Then the Indian season is over. Then all of them used to go to England and play county cricket for another 3 months of red ball cricket, hard labor county cricket. You know it inside out, Devashish, hard labor. So they used to play that IPL. Because of IPL, now there is a proliferation of cricket. That is fine. But proliferation of T20 cricket where a bowler is bowling just 4 overs. It is not like they are bowling 20 overs a day. So, I mean, absolutely, you cannot compare eras, you cannot compare generations, and also Kapil Dev and Jasprit Bumrah. Not every, I mean, the two bodies are different. How Kapil Dev was different. Bumrah genetically is different, so you shouldn't compare. Fine, but I mean, this is proliferation of cricket is a modern day phenomena. I will not buy that.
Gargi?
First, I don't think Jasprit Bumrah got to pick and choose throughout this series. And you know what? I agree with Devashish when he says that Jasprit Bumrah is once in a generation. And if now in hindsight, you can say that, yes, you have an Akash Deep who will put their hand up. Yes, you have a Mohammad Siraj. There will be a Prasidh Krishna to fall back on. There will be a Nitish Kumar Reddy. But at the beginning of this series, if Jasprit Bumrah said, I will only play 3 test matches, would you not take that? Would the Indian management not take that? I think it was absolutely justified that Jasprit Bumrah went there. I also don't think it is the media who is destroying anyone's career. I don't think Jasprit Bumrah's career is destroyed at all. He's still one of the greatest bowlers that we've seen being produced from the country. The second point here is when we talk about the media, criticism, we do analysis of the game on a day-to-day basis. Like we all have said this multiple times, that when it comes to criticizing a player, we will stay within our limits and of course talk about their performance and their on-field performance. Nothing after that. There is to be a limit. But when it comes to Jasprit Bumrah's case, we know that it's a very, very complicated issue. Even the management says that it's a complicated issue and they are trying to respect it. We broke the story about Jasprit Bumrah's injury at this point, and that one more surgery could mean the end of the career for Jasprit Bumrah, and the fact that the management decided to respect it. But at the same time, we also said that when Jasprit Bumrah was released from the squad for the final test match, he should have stayed back with the team. So I don't think we are destroying anyone's career, but at the same time, we will ask where questions are need to be asked.
Just my final 2 pence on this. You cannot plan based on hypothesis. Hypothetically, what would happen if Jasprit Bumrah picks up another injury? If his career ends prematurely, unfortunate. But that's fine. Cricket will move on. There is another bowler. Jasprit Bumrah is not indispensable. No one is indispensable. This England tour has proved that absolutely no one is indispensable. But if Jasprit Bumrah just playing, if he plays a full series, he will pick up an injury, and that is something hypothetical. Based on that, you should not plan anything. It is, if you are doing that, that is picking and choosing. That is absolutely my personal opinion.
See, I think it's more a policy call. When Jasprit Bumrah is well and truly entitled. So today, for example, someone can come to me. This panel can come to me and say, "Oh, you know what? You want to do shows 7 days a week? Yes, I will do 4 days a week." Now it's my call as the editor to say, "No, this doesn't work for me. Either you do 7 days or it doesn't work." So it is not Jasprit Bumrah's call to go and say, "I'll play 3." Now he might just say that, "Look, my body will hold up for 3. You take me or you don't take me." It is the Indian management, the Indian selection committee, the Indian head coach, the Indian captain who then takes the call. Fair enough. Bumrah has made himself available for 3 test matches. In our scheme of things, this doesn't work. We will not take Bumrah. Fair enough. In our scheme of things, we need Bumrah for 3 test matches, so we will take him and we will use him in the manner that we want to use him. I think it's a policy call. Going forward, I think the BCCI will take the policy call from what I know.
Yes.
I think the BCCI will no longer let this 3 test, 2 test, 1 test thing happen. I think for a 2 test series, Bumrah will be asked, "Are you going to play both? Can you play both without an external injury that you pick up?" That's a separate matter. Yes, I can. He will be part of that. 3 test matches, he will be part of that. 5 tests, maybe not. If he is not willing to be part of that, I think it will become a policy call. So when we are criticizing Bumrah, the fact is Bumrah doesn't get to choose. It was the board, selection committee, team management who agreed to this. They said, "Okay," as Gargi said, "do we need this guy for 3 test matches? Yes, we do. So let us take him." If they did not, then Jasprit wouldn't be there. He's not the captain. He's not the selection committee chairman. He's not the Indian head coach or whatever. And somebody was saying, "Show some courage and play without Bumrah." Why should they show? Bumrah is an Indian cricketer. Are they stupid that they will not take their premier bowler? I mean, what are you talking about courage here? And they have enough courage, boys, by the way. Gautam, don't talk about courage. He has dropped who he needs to drop. So don't give us that rubbish about courage. This team management has shown enough courage to take who they want to take and who they don't want to take. Obviously, they will choose their best players. That's how it should be. So my opinion on Bumrah is there is absolutely no reason to troll Bumrah. Bumrah remains an absolute integral part of the Indian cricket team going forward. So all of those comments and on many social media platforms, Gargi will remember, I had told her this, that people were saying Bumrah will retire. And I was stunned. I said, where is this coming from? Bumrah will 100% play this WTC cycle. 100%. At least at this point in time wants to. Bumrah is, or from what I know, Bumrah will be part of this WTC cycle. Bumrah will play test matches for sure. Obviously, in 5 test match series, his body will not hold, and he knows that. Now it is on the board whether he will play both West Indies, both South Africa, whether he will play Asia Cup and then play South Africa, when he will go to New Zealand, this is on the board. This is absolutely on the board on Gautam and Shubman to decide whether, and the white ball captain in Surya, whoever it is, ODI cricket possibly will be Gill in the future, for them to decide how they use Bumrah. But Bumrah is not retiring, very much part of the scheme of things, remains India's best bowler, and there's no debate on that. Having said that, no cricketer. Ashwin said this to us ahead of the tour and got trolled. Yesterday when Ashwin called me, we had a chat on that Virat Kohli, he said he had played his innings and no cricketer is bigger. Today Gargi has done a view on that no cricketer is bigger than the game, and it is proved. In fact, do you know this? I don't know if you all followed this. At 7:10 p.m. India, 7:10 p.m. or 7:20 p.m. India on the third, the 4th day of the Oval Test, when England was around 315 or 320 or 300, around 3, do you know, at least there were 100, 200, 300 Twitter messages, all from Virat Kohli fans and fan clubs that India will lose and India is losing because Virat is not there. And I've seen this being compiled. This is the worst kind of toxic nonsense that I have seen. And all of these people, and by the way, I know the chaps because these are absolute idiots of the highest order, toxic fans, and a lot of them have come after us as well. For them, the fact is Virat not there, India should lose. That's what was going on Twitter. It was. And I have screenshots. which people have compiled and sent me. Obviously, I have not responded to that. Even our own Bharat Ramraj has tweeted one. You can go and check. Bharat has compiled a list of such accounts, all verified accounts. All verified accounts, Virat Kohli fan club, this fan club, that fan club, tweeting India is losing because Virat is not there. Everybody silent after India has won. The problem is that. The problem is people now put individuals ahead of the sport. No individual is ahead of the sport. Nobody.
I sincerely wish when Gautam Gambhir eventually calls time on his coaching career as far as the India coach is concerned, his biggest legacy, I would like to say, that is not how many silverware he has won, but a culture shift has started.
It has
started. And I would like to see Gautam Gambhir becoming successful eventually in that process. That he is winning that nauseating star culture in Indian cricket, which one saw someone even like Anil Kumble, a legend like Anil Kumble, had to quit as India coach because his captain didn't like him. Because his captain wanted someone different.
See, Shomik, the problem in cricket is, unlike football, it will always be a captain-driven game. Unlike this current setup where Gautam has a lot of say. During the Anil Virat saga, and I was an insider. I know exactly what was said, what transpired, BCCI side, I know all of that. The point is, if you have a captain who is an alpha male and performing like the way Virat was at that point in time, no coach will win. Having said that, I agree with you that culture of this Shubman Gautam partnership, that culture of superstars or whatever in the dressing room, that's gone. If you go and by the way, I asked Akash Deep this. You can hear it tomorrow from Akash Deep in that interview. Akash Deep spoke about how that dressing room was a brilliant dressing room.
Exactly.
And I asked him, can you tell me about the dressing room? He said, "Aapko main kya kahun? Us dressing room mein aap agar jaoge, aapko अच्छा लगेगा. Aapko बहुत मजा आएगा इस dressing room में घुसने से." That is how good the dressing room was. That's a massive shift as far as Indian cricket is concerned. The toxicity, and I was stunned when I saw those tweets saying, "Are you're actually tweeting India should lose because Virat Kohli is not there. Are you crazy?" But that is how the disgusting level of fandom is.
And I think, the majority of the fans are prisoners of misinformation. You are reporting you are the on-ground reporter there. Now, Gautam knows that captain is the main man. And throughout this series, he has allowed Shubman to be his own man. This call to drop Kuldeep was taken by Shubman, not Gautam Gambhir. Gautam, he was given enough leeway. Shubman Gill, even in his first series as captain, Gautam Gambhir gave him enough leeway, enough freedom. The call not to take the second new ball and that was Shubman Gill's call. And that ball change at Lords, Shubman Gill's call. Everything. And he was not sending someone with the drinks after every 3-4 overs to pass on his. Gautam Gambhir's thought process is clear that Shubman Gill will grow as a captain by doing mistakes and by learning from his mistakes.
Yeah, and I think Gargi and we did a video on this, that if you see Gautam Gambhir's 1 year as coach now, it's what, 1 year now?
Yeah.
Last July?
Yeah.
Look at the start. Sri Lanka, you lost. New Zealand, you lost. Australia, you lost. After that, tell me. England, you beat England in white ball. February. Champions Trophy, you won in a canter. You did not lose a single game. England Test Series, you won. You went and did superbly well. So it is two halves. First 6 months, defeat. Next 6 months, win. So there is a 360-degree turnaround even as far as Gautam Gambhir is concerned. Sri Lanka loss, New Zealand series loss, Australia 100%. Loss. Now look at it. England win. Champions Trophy win. England Test Series draw. So that's a massive turnaround. One has to also keep that in mind. Anyway, there are plenty of questions. Red Sports Hindi start live from tomorrow, I think. People wanted a day break. Shubhain wanted a couple of days off. I think they will start from tomorrow. They will start from tomorrow. I'll make sure that they start from tomorrow. Dressing room is getting better because old duds. Hello. When you use word like old duds, etc., do you even realize, Kishore, that you're acting like an idiot? You are, right? Virat Kohli's contribution, Rohit Sharma's contribution, Who the hell are you to call somebody this, that? And by the way, before that, you called Bumrah Chapri. That's why I said what I said. Do you even know the word meaning of the word? What are you? What are you? You consider yourself a fan. You're a damn troll. That's what you are. Why are you using such words? Why don't you say that, okay, senior players have been phased out and maybe that's why the culture has improved? That's a potential question. And each one of us will address that question in a more respectful manner. If you think that you will come and insult a player and turn abusive, this is not your platform. There are many other idiotic, stupid platforms that exist on social media, and people know what I'm talking about. Go there. Go there. We are the country's best sports platform. That's what we are. Our coverage speaks for itself. We don't give a damn about anything else. That's what. So if you come here, behave yourself and be part of the debate. You can't, we'll block you. We don't need your numbers. We don't survive on social media, YouTube numbers. We have enough and more money to survive. So if you ask me that, we have enough and more investors standing in that queue. We are classical music of the highest order. That's what our pedigree is. Okay? So don't give me what is this, what is that. You will not have that kind of numbers. I don't give a damn. Still 9 people will travel to England, 6 people will travel to the Asia Cup, 7 people will travel to the Asian Games, and you'll see that. Nobody will be able to match us in terms of ground coverage. The intensity, the quality, the effort, the passion, the determination, the commitment. So that's what we are. Okay? So that's as simple as that. Shomik Da Gill will become the next alpha male. No, I don't think anybody will. Anybody will. Gargi, your thoughts, now that we've done the Bumrah bit, I also asked Akash Deep, and coming back to that interview, I asked him what is the way forward. And he said something very interesting to me. He said it is not about the wickets. He said at the end of the day, and it actually matches my own thoughts. He said it is about me asking myself, am I an improved bowler? It is not about 10 wickets in Edgbaston and 2 wickets at Lords. It is about standing in front of the mirror and asking myself, am I an improved bowler? I made you write a piece today. As a journalist, have you improved? Devashish wrote a Facebook post today how this tour was his best English tour. So let's ask that. That is it about that? Is that your takeaway? Gargi, why don't you start?
I mean, that's how it works, right? I know it's an overused phrase in cricket, but it is a process, and a process yields results. If every individual that is going out there for the Indian team is thinking along the terms of, am I getting better with every game? That only yields results for the team. And the fact that you said Akash Deep looks himself in the mirror and asks, am I a better bowler today? Reminds me of Bharat Arun and the stories you told about how he would go up to bowlers and ask them, what did you do wrong? Or is that right?
Yeah. At the top of the mark. Yeah.
They would. He would go up and ask the bowlers, what did you do wrong? And I think if this is the philosophy that is being blossomed in the dressing room, then that's a great sign for Indian Test cricket, and that is something that you actually need at this point. This is a young team. Or a gun team, as Shubman likes to call it. This team was written off even before they started that series in England. This team was absolutely written off. It was said that, the captain is good for nothing. Without a Bumrah, you won't be able to take 20 wickets or win matches. And that was proved wrong over and over again. In Edgbaston, at Old Trafford, you drew the game. Yes, Jasprit Bumrah played there. But again, at the Oval, you won the game and you were able to draw the series. And this happened with young players, with an inexperienced team that was written off. So if this is the philosophy that Gautam Gambhir is able to cultivate or is harboring in the dressing room, and if Akash Deep, one of the youngest players in the team, is going around or has spoken to you and said that it is a dressing room where you'd love to be, then I think that's a great place for Indian Test cricket to be at, and it's a great start for Shubman Gill as a skipper.
I think Gargi says it well, Devashish. You were there in Australia all through. The two of us went late. Your thoughts, Devashish, on what you had seen in Australia in terms of the dressing room and the atmosphere and the way the players behaved, and in England? Did you see a difference there in terms of how India was? The more freedom, because in Australia, for example, and I remind you of that Sydney practice session, where it was all dark and gloom. Rohit Sharma standing at one end, somebody else standing at another end. It was all very tense. We were all there. And here in England, everybody laughing, people carrying you, and the fun and and every day scenario when the team was coming together. Devashish, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously, those were two very situations. Obviously, when you're talking about the Sydney Test, where India were they already lost the series. So, if you look at this test match at the Oval, means obviously they still had that fight after that incredible fight shown by Washington Sundar and Ravindra Jadeja, putting up that century partnership and eventually saving the test match for India. So automatically that transferred into the dressing room, that lifted the morale, the spirit of the entire unit. But having said that, it was not the case in Sydney. Yes, when India won the first test match in Perth, everyone in that dressing room was showing a great camaraderie. But that was not the case. Eventually, when they started losing after that ping ball test in Adelaide, well, that is where they lost it around. And so obviously, these are things when you win, you will automatically find that camaraderie, that team spirit, that bonding. Yes, India did not carry that baggage this time round with the senior players, the star players, I would say. But obviously, obviously you have to be inside that dressing room to know better means what exactly is the atmosphere. But I would say yes, those were two different situations. In Sydney, that practice before the test match and at the Oval. So yes, but clearly this team looked definitely backed each other. They were all giving it their best shot. There was a team bonding. There was camaraderie, and all credit goes to Shubman Gill and Gautam Gambhir the way they binded the team.
Last couple of minutes, the reason I asked Devashish this question was it was also 2-1 going into Sydney. If you remember, India still had the chance of drawing the series. After Melbourne, it was 2-1. After Manchester, it was 2-1.
But you know, the captain himself was under a lot of criticism. The captain himself was under a lot of criticism.
Exactly. That's why I asked this question. That, you know, the team atmosphere, the bonding, will Rohit drop himself? Can he play? Should he play? What should go on there? Even in fact, at the end of day 2, if you remember in Sydney, we had done a show out of Bondi. Gargi will remember, we had done a show out of Bondi. Australia was 180 all out. India had actually taken a first innings lead of 6 runs. So it was a second innings shootout, much like the Oval. Sydney was also a second innings shootout. India got all out for 160. Australia came and finished it off. But it could have been 2-2.
Yes.
So
if Bumrah
if Bumrah was bowling, it could have, and on that wicket, which Michael Clarke reckons the worst wicket in his 25 years in Sydney, was the worst wicket at the Sydney Cricket Ground. So I think this is a better dressing room. I think over time, Gautam has also learned the ropes better, because anybody who comes at the start will take a bit of time. Shubman Gill will learn over a period of time. So we'll see. Let me take closing comments. A lot of questions are coming on Asia Cup. Gargi, your thoughts? Should Bumrah be picked for the Asia Cup, or should Bumrah be reserved for the test matches? My personal thought here is Asia Cup, because of the geopolitics and Pakistan, they will possibly pick Bumrah and give him a break for the West Indies series. I have not spoken to people. This is just my personal opinion. Your thoughts, and I'll close with Devashish and Shomik.
I mean, as a purist, I would love to see Jasprit Bumrah in that India-West Indies test series. It is also important in terms of the WTC cycle. India has a head start and a good foundation to build on when it comes to this WTC cycle. But like you said, I also think because of the context of the Asia Cup, because of the context of the geopolitical situation, it turns into a high-profile game or a high-profile tournament, which then makes way for Jasprit Bumrah to come into the team, and the management will want him there. So I think in that perspective, they might play him for the Asia Cup, rest him for the West Indies series, but I would rather see him play the Test series and not watch him in the T20 Asia Cup.
Devashish?
Yeah, I would also agree to some extent. Obviously, I would rather pick Bumrah for the West Indies series, given that the head start we got in this recently concluded series in England. Means obviously, if you win those 2 series at home against South Africa and West Indies, you are in a better position in that WTC points table. And then remember, you have a very tough challenge when you travel to New Zealand, and then hosting Australia at home. So I think I would not means as was the case this time around. What is if you remember means obviously we were at a situation means losing the New Zealand series at home. We had to win all the matches means to be in contention for the World Test Championship. We should not leave it at that stage that in that you have to win this, you have to compulsory win this Test series to be in a position to qualify for the World Test Championship final. Rather, win the Test matches that are at home. Means obviously ideal situation would be to win both the series against White was both the series against South Africa and West Indies, and be at a comfortable position before we actually travel to New Zealand next year and then hosting Australia in at home.
Let's close the show here. Let's close the show. We've been talking for a good amount of time. All I'll say is, a lot of cricket coming, and not all decisions are based on just what is being played out there. There are other decisions that will influence team selection, and the larger story, the geopolitical story, is as significant. And there is no sport in the world where there is no geopolitics or where there is no those kind of factors. Let's not go into further details, because without politics there is no sport. Let's put that very bluntly. Tomorrow, as I said, watch Akash Deep talking about the team, the victory, the impact of Siraj, that interaction with Duckett, Edgbaston win, what transpired in the 57 minutes. Loved interviewing Akash Deep, so that is coming your way. And then in the afternoon, Gargi, myself, and the rest of us, we will debate that interview and more. From what we know that Shubman Gill, absolutely a lot of questions. Shubman Gill is tipped to be a part of that Asia Cup team. Surya Kumar Yadav, like we reported yesterday, did batting, but anybody who is already saying that Surya is a certainty, perhaps not. From what we know, it will be week by week. So Surya Kumar Yadav will be, at this point in time, standing today, signs are good. Signs are good for Surya Kumar Yadav. All good so far, but injury has to be managed. And we will see how the recovery steps and whether or not Surya is ready. Fingers crossed, I want to see Surya, one of my favorite guys. Finally, will we cover Ashes? We will cover everything, Ripon. We will cover everything. And you will see a build-up of the Ashes from Gargi in Australia next week. And we will build up with Shubhan when he travels to Australia for the white ball series. So we will do a longish build-up to the Ashes as well. Every series, every sport. Bhuvaneshwar, you will see reportage today. Abhishek Mishra is already there for the Continental Bronze Label Athletics, which is starting tomorrow. I don't know how many other platforms will send ground reporters. We have. We will try and send to as many places as possible. That's all we have for now. Shomik, I'm seeing you in the studio. So all the very best to you, and go well, report well. Gargi, I'm seeing you tomorrow on the show, so I'm not wishing you happy journey now. Gargi Rao joins me tomorrow again, and before she takes off for 2 weeks. Devashish said, I'll see you on Monday in the studio. So I'm not saying anything to you. Thank you very much. Today, Shubhendu Odhikari and the rest of the people have stopped us from meeting. So because of the No One No Abhijan, whole of Calcutta is in a tizzy today. So nobody can step out. Devashish, Howrah Bridge is locked. A lot of violence going on. That's why Devashish was unable to come. I think there has been a lot of political issues today. The processions were stopped. Police and a lot of political problems have happened. Without taking any sides, we are not a political platform. A lot of unrest in our city, from what I have seen in the media reports. On that note, Gargi, Shomik, Devashish, to everybody watching, thank you very much for joining us.
And this show is not complete without me telling Devashish Shabba Khair, Hamari Guptugu Jari Rahegi.
And Shomik did not say his Marathi, which was a total Bengali Marathi, and Gargi was his Marathi like anything. That was the worst sledge possible. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.